Have you ever wondered why you wake up each morning feeling like you've aged 10 years overnight? Why your knees creak like old wooden floors when you get out of bed? Why your shoulders feel like they've been carrying the weight of the world while you slept? You might think it's just natural aging, but what if I told you that 5 simple habits you do every single night are silently destroying your joints from the inside out? This isn't about getting older. This is about what you're unknowingly doing to yourself every evening that's accelerating joint deterioration at an alarming rate. Tonight, as you prepare for bed, you'll likely repeat at least 3 of these devastating habits without even realizing the permanent damage you're causing to your precious joints. You see, your joints are like delicate machinery. During the day, they work tirelessly to support your every movement, every step, every gesture. But at night, when you think you're giving them rest, you might actually be subjecting them to hours of silent torture. The worst part, these habits feel so normal, so harmless, that millions of people over 50 do them religiously, night after night, wondering why their joint pain keeps getting worse, despite trying everything else. Picture this. A 68-year-old woman named Margaret from Ohio wrote to us last month, desperate for answers. For 3 years, she had been waking up with excruciating hip pain that made her first steps of the day feel like walking on broken glass. She tried physical therapy, expensive supplements, even considered surgery. But when she discovered these 5 nighttime habits and eliminated just 2 of them, her morning pain decreased by 70% in less than 3 weeks. Margaret isn't special. She simply stopped unknowingly sabotaging her joints every single night. The truth is, pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know about these habits because they profit from your pain. Physical therapy clinics won't tell you because they need your repeat visits. Even some doctors overlook these simple nighttime destroyers because they're too focused on prescribing medications rather than addressing root causes. But tonight, that changes for you. What makes these habits so dangerous is their stealth nature. Unlike an injury that announces itself with immediate pain, these nighttime joint destroyers work slowly, methodically, breaking down your cartilage molecule by molecule, inflaming your tissues cell by cell, until one morning you wake up barely able to move. By then, what could have been easily prevented becomes a lifelong struggle with chronic pain and limited mobility. Think about your evening routine right now. As you read this, you're probably planning to do at least 3 of these joint-destroying habits tonight. You might even be doing one of them right now as you watch this video. That's how deeply ingrained these patterns have become in our lives. We've been conditioned to believe they're normal, even beneficial, when in reality, they're slowly stealing our ability to move freely and live without pain. Before we dive deep into these 5 devastating habits, I want you to understand something crucial about your joints. After age 50, your body produces less synovial fluid, the natural lubricant that keeps your joints moving smoothly. Your cartilage becomes thinner and less resilient. Your ligaments lose elasticity. This means that habits which might have been harmless in your 30s and 40s become joint destroyers in your 50s, 60s, and beyond. Your joints need extra protection now, not additional stress. But here's the hopeful truth that will change everything for you. Once you identify and eliminate these 5 nighttime habits, your joints can begin to heal remarkably quickly. The human body has an incredible capacity for repair, especially when you stop actively damaging it every single night. Some people notice improvements in their morning stiffness within just days of making these changes. Now, I need to know that you're truly committed to transforming your joint health. If this information resonates with you and you're ready to discover what might be causing your joint pain, type the number 1 in the comments below. If you're skeptical or not ready to make changes, type 0. Your engagement helps me understand how many people are serious about ending their joint suffering tonight. Before we reveal these 5 dangerous habits, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This channel exists to share the health truths that mainstream medicine often overlooks. And I want to make sure you never miss information that could change your life. Your joint health is too important to leave to chance. The 5 nighttime joint destroyers. 5th nighttime habit, sleeping in the wrong position. The silent joint crusher. Let's start with something that might surprise you. The way you position your body for 8 hours every night could be the primary reason your joints feel like rusty hinges every morning. Most people over 50 sleep in positions that create unnatural pressure points, restrict blood flow, and force their joints into compromised positions for hours at a time. Sleeping on your stomach is perhaps the worst offender. When you lie face down, your neck is forced to turn at an extreme angle for the entire night, creating massive tension in your cervical spine. Your lower back arches unnaturally, compressing the vertebrae and straining the ligaments. Your shoulders roll forward into an unnatural position that restricts circulation and creates inflammation in the rotator cuff area. But even side sleeping, which many consider the healthiest position, becomes problematic without proper support. When you sleep on your side without a pillow between your knees, your top leg pulls your pelvis out of alignment, creating a cascade of problems throughout your spine. Your hip joint bears uneven pressure all night long, leading to that deep, aching pain you feel when you try to get out of bed in the morning. The shoulder you're lying on experiences hours of compressed circulation. Imagine squeezing a garden hose and stopping the water flow. That's what happens to the blood vessels supplying your shoulder joint when you lie on it for hours without proper positioning. The lack of fresh, oxygenated blood means your joint tissues can't repair themselves properly during sleep. Here's what's truly frightening. Your body goes through its most intensive repair and regeneration processes during deep sleep. Your growth hormone levels peak at night, promoting tissue repair and regeneration. But if your joints are under stress from poor positioning, not only do they miss out on this crucial healing time, they actually accumulate more damage while you think you're resting. Consider Sarah, a 62-year-old teacher who suffered from severe shoulder and neck pain for over 2 years. She tried everything: massage therapy, chiropractic adjustments, anti-inflammatory medications. Nothing provided lasting relief. When she finally analyzed her sleep position and made simple adjustments using proper pillow support and positioning, her pain decreased by 80% within 1 month. The solution wasn't complex medical intervention. It was simply stopping the nightly joint destruction she was unknowingly inflicting on herself. The spine specialists rarely discuss how much damage poor sleep positioning causes because they make their living treating the problems it creates. Physical therapists might mention it briefly, but they don't emphasize how dramatically proper sleep positioning can eliminate joint pain because they need patients to keep coming back for treatments. Your joints are meant to be in neutral alignment during rest. When they're twisted, compressed, or forced into unnatural positions for hours, the cartilage wears unevenly, the synovial fluid can't circulate properly, and inflammation builds up in the surrounding tissues. Over months and years, this nightly abuse creates the chronic joint pain that so many people accept as inevitable aging. 4th nighttime habit, the temperature trap. How your thermostat is destroying your joints. Most people have no idea that the temperature of their sleeping environment plays a crucial role in joint health. What happens in bedrooms across America every night is a perfect storm for joint destruction, and it all comes down to temperature extremes that most people create without realizing the devastating impact on their joints. Sleeping in rooms that are too cold forces your body into a defensive mode that's particularly harmful to aging joints. When your bedroom temperature drops below 65 degrees, your blood vessels constrict to preserve core body heat. This means less blood flow reaches your extremities and joints, depriving them of the oxygen and nutrients they need for overnight repair and maintenance. But here's where it gets really dangerous for people over 50. Cold temperatures cause synovial fluid to thicken. Synovial fluid is the natural lubricant in your joints, similar to oil in a car engine. When this fluid thickens due to cold, your joints become stiff and difficult to move. This is why you wake up feeling like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, needing time to oil your joints before they move freely. On the opposite extreme, sleeping in overly warm rooms creates a different but equally destructive problem. When your bedroom is too hot, above 75 degrees, your body works overtime to cool itself down. This process creates inflammation throughout your system, including in your joints. Additionally, excessive heat can cause dehydration during sleep, which reduces the production of synovial fluid and makes your joints feel dry and creaky in the morning. The temperature fluctuations are even worse than consistent extremes. Many people use heavy blankets and then kick them off when they get too hot, creating a cycle of temperature changes throughout the night. Each temperature swing forces your joints to adapt, creating stress and preventing the stable environment they need for proper repair. Think about how your arthritis feels worse on rainy, cold days. The same principle applies to your sleep environment. Your joints are essentially experiencing bad weather conditions for 8 hours every night if your bedroom temperature isn't properly controlled. Central heating and air conditioning systems often create another problem: uneven temperature distribution. Your feet might be cold while your upper body is warm, or one side of your body might be in a draft while the other side is too hot. This uneven temperature exposure creates different levels of stiffness and inflammation throughout your body. Here's a real-world example that illustrates this perfectly. Robert, a 59-year-old contractor, suffered from severe knee and elbow pain that was worst in the mornings. His doctor prescribed anti-inflammatory medications and suggested expensive joint supplements. But when Robert simply adjusted his bedroom temperature to a consistent 68 to 70 degrees and eliminated the drafts that were hitting his joints during sleep, his morning joint pain decreased dramatically within 2 weeks. No medications, no expensive treatments, just controlling the temperature environment where his joints spent 8 hours every night. The medical establishment doesn't focus on environmental factors like sleep temperature because there's no profit in telling people to adjust their thermostats. It's much more profitable to prescribe ongoing treatments for the joint problems that these environmental factors create. Third nighttime habit: the dehydration disaster. How your evening routine is drying out your joints. Here's a nighttime habit that's destroying joints across America, and most people do it thinking they're being healthy. The way you handle fluid intake in the evening is either nourishing your joints or slowly desiccating them like a dried flower. Most people over 50 make a critical mistake with their evening hydration routine. Afraid of waking up multiple times during the night to use the bathroom, they drastically reduce their fluid intake after dinner. Some stop drinking liquids entirely after 6 p.m. This well-intentioned habit is actually devastating to joint health because your joints need consistent hydration to maintain the synovial fluid that keeps them moving smoothly. During the 8 hours you sleep, your body continues to lose water through breathing, sweating, and other metabolic processes. If you go to bed already in a state of mild dehydration, you wake up severely dehydrated. Your synovial fluid becomes thick and scanty, your cartilage loses its cushioning properties, and your joints feel stiff and painful with your first movements of the day. But the problem goes even deeper than simple dehydration. Many people over 50 take medications that have dehydrating effects: blood pressure medications, diuretics, antihistamines, and others. These medications continue working throughout the night, further depleting your body's water reserves. If you're not properly hydrated before sleep, these medications can leave your joints critically under-lubricated by morning. Here's what makes this habit particularly insidious. The effects are cumulative. Each night of inadequate hydration builds on the previous night, gradually reducing your joint function over weeks and months. You don't notice the gradual decline until your morning stiffness becomes severe, and your joint pain becomes constant. The quality of fluids you consume in the evening matters enormously too. Many people drink coffee, tea, or alcoholic beverages in the evening, all of which have diuretic effects that actually promote dehydration. Alcohol is particularly destructive because it not only dehydrates you, but also interferes with the deep sleep stages when your body does its most intensive joint repair work. Consider the case of Linda, a 65-year-old retired nurse who experienced progressively worsening knee and hip pain over 6 months. She was taking glucosamine supplements, using anti-inflammatory creams, and even considering steroid injections. But when she analyzed her evening routine, she realized she was consuming wine with dinner, and then avoiding fluids afterward to prevent nighttime bathroom trips. When she switched to proper evening hydration, drinking adequate water early in the evening and tapering off closer to bedtime, her joint pain improved significantly within 3 weeks. The irony is that proper hydration actually improves sleep quality and reduces the number of times you wake up during the night. When your body is well hydrated, your kidneys work more efficiently and you actually sleep more soundly. Dehydration, on the other hand, can cause restless sleep and frequent awakening. Your cartilage is composed of up to 80% water. When you're dehydrated, this cartilage literally shrinks and becomes less effective at cushioning your joints. Imagine a sponge that's dried out versus one that's fully saturated. That's the difference in your cartilage's ability to protect your joints when you're dehydrated versus properly hydrated. The medical community rarely emphasizes hydration for joint health because it's too simple and doesn't generate revenue. It's much more profitable to treat the symptoms of joint degeneration with expensive procedures and medications than to address the simple cause of inadequate hydration. Second, nighttime habit. The electronic sleep destroyer. How your devices are inflaming your joints. This habit might shock you because it seems completely unrelated to joint health, but the electronic devices you use before bedtime are creating a cascade of biological processes that directly inflame your joints and prevent them from healing properly during sleep. The blue light emitted by smartphones, tablets, televisions, and even LED alarm clocks doesn't just disrupt your sleep. It triggers inflammatory responses throughout your body that specifically target your joints. Here's the devastating chain reaction that happens every night when you expose yourself to blue light before bed. Blue light suppresses the production of melatonin, your body's natural sleep hormone. But melatonin isn't just about sleep. It's one of your body's most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. When blue light exposure reduces your melatonin production, you lose a crucial defense against joint inflammation. Your joints spend the night bathed in inflammatory chemicals instead of healing anti-inflammatory compounds. But the damage goes much deeper. Blue light exposure in the evening disrupts your circadian rhythm, which controls not just when you sleep, but when your body releases various hormones and performs different repair functions. Growth hormone, which is essential for joint and cartilage repair, is primarily released during deep sleep stages. When blue light disrupts your sleep cycles, you miss out on these crucial repair periods. The electromagnetic fields, EMFs, emitted by electronic devices create another layer of joint damage. While the full extent of EMF effects on human health is still being studied, emerging research suggests that constant exposure to these fields may promote inflammation and interfere with cellular repair processes. When you sleep with your phone on your nightstand or fall asleep with a tablet on your chest, you're exposing your body to these fields for hours. Here's a particularly insidious aspect of this habit. Many people use their devices to relax before bed, scrolling through social media, watching videos, or reading emails. But the mental stimulation and emotional stress from consuming information keeps your nervous system in an activated state. This prevents your body from entering the parasympathetic mode necessary for deep healing and repair. The stress hormones released while consuming stimulating content before bed, cortisol and adrenaline, are directly inflammatory to joints. These hormones were designed for short-term survival situations, not for constant elevation during what should be your body's recovery time. Chronic elevation of stress hormones leads to chronic inflammation, which is devastating to joint health. Consider James, a 56-year-old accountant who suffered from severe morning joint stiffness and pain in his hands, wrists, and shoulders. He spent thousands of dollars on ergonomic office equipment, thinking his computer work was causing the problem. But the real culprit was his nightly routine of spending 2 to 3 hours on his tablet before bed, checking emails, social media, and watching videos. When he eliminated screen time 2 hours before bedtime, his morning joint stiffness decreased by 60% within 1 month. The light exposure also affects your body's production of cortisol, which should naturally decrease in the evening to allow for rest and repair. When blue light exposure keeps cortisol levels elevated, your joints remain in a state of inflammation throughout the night, instead of entering the healing mode they desperately need. Your sleep architecture, the natural cycles of light and deep sleep, becomes fragmented when you use electronic devices before bed. During deep sleep stages, your body increases blood flow to muscles and joints, releases growth hormone, and performs intensive repair work. When these sleep stages are disrupted or shortened, your joints miss out on their most important healing time. The addiction aspect of electronic devices makes this habit particularly difficult to break. The intermittent reinforcement schedule of social media notifications and the dopamine hits from consuming digital content create genuine addiction patterns. Your brain craves the stimulation, making it feel impossible to put the devices away, even when you intellectually understand they're harming your health. First nighttime habit, the pillow prison. How your pillow choice is torturing your joints all night long. The most devastating nighttime habit that's destroying joints across America is something so fundamental that most people never question it: the pillow they rest their head on every single night. Your pillow choice and arrangement don't just affect your comfort. They create or prevent joint alignment issues that can make the difference between waking up refreshed or feeling like you've been in a car accident. The wrong pillow creates a domino effect of joint problems that starts at your neck and cascades down through your entire body. When your head and neck are improperly supported, it forces your cervical spine out of its natural curve. This misalignment doesn't just affect your neck, it requires your shoulders, upper back, and even lower back to compensate, creating tension and inflammation throughout your entire spinal column. Most people over 50 use pillows that are either too high or too low for their sleeping position and body type. A pillow that's too high forces your neck into an unnatural upward angle, stretching the muscles and ligaments on one side while compressing the joints on the other side. After 8 hours in this position, you wake up with neck pain, shoulder tension, and often headaches that can last throughout the day. Conversely, a pillow that's too low or flat allows your head to sink down, creating a downward angle that strains different muscles and joints. Side sleepers are particularly vulnerable because an inadequate pillow height means their spine curves unnaturally, creating pressure points at the shoulder and hip that bear weight throughout the night. The material of your pillow matters enormously for joint health, though most people choose pillows based on initial comfort rather than long-term joint support. Traditional down pillows, while feeling luxurious, compress throughout the night and lose their supportive properties when you need them most. Memory foam pillows can trap heat and become too firm, creating pressure points that restrict circulation to your neck and shoulder joints. Here's where this becomes particularly dangerous for people over 50. Your joints and tissues are already less resilient than they were in your younger years. The same pillow that might have caused minor stiffness in your 30s can create significant pain and long-term damage in your 50s and beyond. Your body has less ability to compensate for poor positioning, making proper support absolutely critical. The timing of pillow replacement is another factor that most people completely overlook. Pillows lose their supportive properties gradually, so you might not notice the slow decline in support until your joint pain becomes severe. A pillow that provided adequate support when new might be forcing your joints into compromising positions after months or years of use. Multiple pillow arrangements can be just as problematic as the wrong single pillow. Many people stack multiple pillows to achieve the height they want, but this creates an unstable base that shifts throughout the night. Your head and neck spend the night constantly adjusting to these shifts, preventing the stable positioning necessary for joint rest and repair. The width and firmness of your pillow also play crucial roles in joint health that most people never consider. A pillow that's too narrow doesn't provide support when you move during sleep, allowing your head to roll off the supported area. A pillow that's too soft allows your head to sink in, creating the same problems as a pillow that's too low. Temperature regulation in your pillow affects joint health in ways that most people don't realize. Pillows that trap heat can cause inflammation in the delicate tissues of your neck and head, while pillows that don't retain enough warmth can cause muscles to tighten and joints to stiffen during sleep. Consider Maria, a 61-year-old grandmother who suffered from chronic neck pain, shoulder stiffness, and frequent headaches for over 3 years. She tried physical therapy, chiropractic treatments, and multiple medications with only temporary relief. When she finally analyzed her pillow situation, she realized she was using the same down pillow she'd had for over 8 years, and it had completely lost its supportive properties. Within 1 week of switching to a properly sized, supportive pillow appropriate for her sleeping position, her morning pain decreased by 70%. Within a month, her chronic headaches were completely gone. The pillow industry doesn't want you to know how frequently pillows should be replaced because they profit from confusion and infrequent purchases of expensive pillows. Most pillows should be replaced every 1 to 2 years, depending on the material and usage, but many people use the same pillow for 5, 10, or even 20 years. The path to joint freedom, what you should do instead. Now that you understand how these 5 nighttime habits are silently destroying your joints, let me share the simple but powerful solutions that can transform your joint health starting tonight. These aren't complex medical interventions or expensive treatments. They're practical changes that address the root causes of nighttime joint damage. For proper sleep positioning, invest in a body pillow system that maintains natural spinal alignment throughout the night. Side sleepers need a pillow between their knees to keep the pelvis level and prevent hip stress. Back sleepers benefit from a small pillow under their knees to maintain the natural curve of the lower back. Stomach sleeping should be avoided entirely, but if you must sleep on your stomach, use a very thin pillow or no pillow at all to minimize neck strain. Create the optimal temperature environment for joint health by maintaining your bedroom between 68 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Use breathable bedding materials that wick moisture away from your body while maintaining consistent warmth. Eliminate drafts that can create uneven cooling of your joints, and consider using a humidifier if your air is dry, as proper humidity levels help maintain joint lubrication. Develop a strategic hydration routine that nourishes your joints without disrupting sleep. Drink the majority of your daily water intake earlier in the day, tapering off about 2 hours before bedtime. Choose anti-inflammatory beverages like herbal teas with turmeric or ginger in the evening. Avoid alcohol, caffeine, and excessive fluids close to bedtime, but ensure you're well hydrated throughout the day to support overnight joint repair. Implement a digital sunset routine by eliminating all screen exposure at least 2 hours before bedtime. Use blue light blocking glasses if you must use devices in the evening, and keep electronic devices out of the bedroom entirely. Replace screen time with joint-friendly activities like gentle stretching, reading physical books, or meditation practices that promote the relaxation response necessary for healing. Choose the right pillow for your specific sleeping position and replace it regularly to maintain proper support. Side sleepers need medium firm pillows that fill the space between their shoulder and head. Back sleepers require thinner pillows that support the natural neck curve without pushing the head forward. Invest in quality pillows made from materials that maintain their supportive properties over time, and replace them every 12 to 18 months. Your new beginning, reclaiming your joint health tonight. The journey to pain-free mornings and flexible, comfortable joints doesn't require expensive treatments, risky surgeries, or complicated medical interventions. It starts tonight with the simple decision to stop unknowingly damaging your joints and start creating the conditions they need to heal and thrive. Remember Margaret, the woman I mentioned at the beginning, who reduced her hip pain by 70% in 3 weeks. She didn't do anything revolutionary. She simply stopped doing the things that were hurting her joints every night and started doing the things that supported them instead. You have that same power tonight. Your joints have been patiently enduring years of nightly abuse, doing their best to keep you mobile and active despite the obstacles you've unknowingly placed in their path. They've been sending you signals through morning stiffness, aches and pain, trying to tell you that something needs to change. Tonight, you can finally listen to those signals and respond with the care your joints deserve. The beautiful truth about joint health is that your body wants to heal. Given the right conditions, proper positioning, optimal temperature, adequate hydration, reduced inflammation, and appropriate support, your joints can begin to repair themselves remarkably quickly. The same healing capacity that allowed your body to grow and develop throughout your life is still there, waiting for you to create the right environment for it to work. Change doesn't have to be overwhelming or complicated. Start with just one of these 5 habits tonight. Choose the one that resonates most with you, or the one that seems easiest to modify. Maybe it's simply adjusting your bedroom temperature or putting your phone in another room before bed. Small changes create momentum for bigger transformations. As you implement these changes, pay attention to how your body responds. Notice if you wake up with less stiffness, if your first steps of the day are easier, if your joints feel more comfortable throughout the day. These improvements aren't just making you feel better temporarily. They're signs that you're stopping the destructive processes and allowing healing to begin. Your independence and quality of life depend on maintaining healthy, functional joints. Every night that you continue these destructive habits is another night of accumulated damage, but every night that you choose joint-supporting habits instead is another opportunity for healing and improvement. I want to hear from you about your journey to better joint health. In the comments below, tell me which of these 5 nighttime habits you recognize in your own routine. Which one are you committed to changing starting tonight? Share your experiences as you implement these changes. Your story might be the inspiration another person needs to transform their own joint health. If this video has opened your eyes to the hidden causes of your joint pain, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about who might be unknowingly damaging their joints every night. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to ensure you never miss information that could change your health and your life. Remember, your joints have carried you through every step of your journey so far. They deserve your care, attention, and protection. Tonight, you have the power to stop hurting them and start healing them instead. Sweet dreams and pain-free mornings await you.